system. So right now you type in, let's say, google.com, and on a DNS system you resolve it to an IP number, and then you connect to port 80, okay, to get the page. Now here, you know somehow that he's called Luis Fernando Molina in Budapest, and then you get to a profile, which has an ID, and a profile server that you can connect to, and then he has something similar to port 80, like a chat port, and then this is the standard that you know.
You not only know the port, but you also know the communication standard. So
yeah.
the message flows and the dialogue possible, you know it, this is standardized. Okay? And the reason that it's standardized is because we want all this network effect to happen, so that it's get all the world population inside this system.
So he's walking on the street, going everywhere in the city. I don't know where he is, but I can still chat with him because I know his ID and that he's from the chat application service.
Okay, so to finish with this part, I just want to go a little bit deeper in the technical side. So we said that the phones are connected to the profile server. This phone found this one, and he knows the application service that are running. So they use the profile server to first to negotiate somehow, to coordinate which STAN server they are going to use to try to acquire the target connection. Okay? The STAN server is a known technology, it's not something we invented. We just put it in a decentralized network of STAN server. It's a technology that is used exactly for that. You connect to clients, and the STAN server help you using these NAT traversal techniques to try to acquire a direct connection, punching holes and firewalls and doing a lot of tricks. If he cannot do the trick and acquire the connection, most of the cases, like 80%, the phones get connected directly. But there is a percentage of time that it's not possible. So then the fallback are third server, that is also a well-known technology that we are taking it and put it to run in a decentralized way. And the third server is going to relay messages between one phone or the other if the direct connection is possible. But from the application running here is totally transparent. We are speaking to the chat component here that is connected to the other, maybe through here or maybe directly. And from there, the ecosystem starts growing inside the phone. Okay? Okay? So the project itself creates, in the first couple of years, infrastructure that is in decentralized networks, and then it starts building infrastructure inside the phone. Okay? Inside the phone. So this is like half of the infrastructure that we create outside the phone, and the other are going to tell you.
Are these servers, the profile server and the STUN server and all these location servers, are they also going to be end users? Will just be randomly assigned and selected? Okay. Similar.
It's the same concept that Bitcoin miners. I will speak a little bit about who mines this, and there is a token system in cryptocurrency also. Yeah, I have to explain that in order for you to understand that.
But the whole thing is truly decentralized. Then.
Yes, it's truly decentralized and it is incentivized. You know that decentralized system exists previous to blockchain and Bitcoin. Okay? The main difference now is that there is a token system involved in all these new type of decentralized services. That in some cases the token system is the system itself, like Bitcoin, and in some cases it's used for incentivizing people to run the nodes, okay, with a reward, okay. That is one of the properties that this decentralized system needs to acquire, like a public infrastructure level, no? Something that is not dependent on anybody in particular, that anybody can join the network, anybody can leave the network, anybody can innovate on this. It's permissionless in all dimensions, okay? We need the incentivation, okay? So because we need the incentivation, we need a token system. And that's what we did. We also have, it's not here in this drawing, But imagine here another type of service that is the token server. Okay? Our token server started with the Bitcoin code base, because Bitcoin is so far the most proven, is the one holding more value, so it's more secure. So we started with that blockchain, and we had to quickly make it evolve because for two reasons. One is that Bitcoin is proof of work, what is called proof of work mining. And if you start a new blockchain with proof of work, you very quickly get attacked by mining power, okay? Maybe just for fun, okay? But that's not the main problem. The main problem is that Bitcoin itself was like game, at least in our view, okay? How it was game? When the inventor of Bitcoin designed it as a software that was very much the same that what we're doing. It was a person-to-person application. No? You were supposed to mine, he was supposed to mine, and the same software had the mining algorithm, it has the wallet, and it has the ledger, the blockchain, and the network component, okay? The four components. So if you ran the original Bitcoin like 8 years ago, you can do with one software, you do it all, okay? But people is greedy, and some say, look, if I take the mining algorithm out, and I put it to run here, that is more powerful, I mine more Bitcoins than them. So I'm going to do it, and they did. First they put it in graphic cards, then in specialized computer design chips, and today, this trend today is that there are huge mining farms, and a network that was run with 6,000 nodes and 6,000 miners, really mining. Now the only ones that are really mining are only 10 nodes of these 6,000. Average, it can be 12 or 20. The thing is that it's very, very concentrated, okay? So why this happened? And why this is not good? Because of the primitive governance system of Bitcoin. Bitcoin governance system is about you have developers and you have miners. So developers can develop whatever they want, but miners decide which version of Bitcoin they use. No? So the one who has more mining power and produces the blocks decide if they use version 1 or version 2 or version A, B, or C. No? So in the end, the one who has more mining power controls the direction of the Bitcoin project because it decides essentially how this is going to evolve. Okay? So the problem is not that today Bitcoin is mined only by, let's say, a dozen of entities. That is not the problem. The problem is that they are getting, at current Bitcoin price, maybe $70 million a month, these 12 entities. And that they are on a trend that started when they removed the mining algorithm from the software. And today we are in one part of this curve, but it's going to get more concentrated with time. Okay? And there is no possible solution if you think about it, because people that is earning $70 million a month are not going to reverse that earning just to make it re-decentralized. No? It's not going to happen. So the only thing that can happen is that it gets more and more centralized to the point that it might end up being controlled by only one, because also, as I was saying in the beginning, the social rules of this world allows companies to buy each other, even without you and me knowing who owns who. You know? So maybe today, all these companies are owned only by one. Who knows? Who knows? So, if we were going to use this code base that was the most secure, we wouldn't want to have the same fate that Bitcoin and get all this centralized. So, we had to find a way to solve this. There were a lot of ideas in the industry, proof of stake and combination, proof of stake, this and that, and there are some that I believe that some might solve the problem. But anyway, we came with a total alternative path. We said the following: why instead? What is the reason that this got concentrated? Besides that they took this and the governance system is too simple in this way. Probably one of the reasons is allowing anybody to mine. If you remove that condition, and at least at the beginning, and you can get anybody to mine in the long term. But if at the beginning you control who mine, or not, I wouldn't say control, but you create an instructor, okay? Then you might prevent decentralization. But you need two things: that not everybody can mine, and the one that really can mine cannot mine much more than the rest, because let's say that she's one of the person that can mine, and still she can go and put the mining farm, then it's the same situation. So the two things combined might work. So what did we do? We say, okay, let's say that we have a mining license concept. Mining license. So let's say that initially, because we don't know if people will like it, because in this industry people are crazy. They like things that are stupid or things that are not stupid, they don't like it. We didn't know if it was going to do. So we make a simple version, a minimal viable product. We modify the Bitcoin blockchain to create the mining license scheme. And we said that we put one community leader and say, look, you're going to be like the administrator and you're going to decide who mine. At least to see if this works. If it doesn't work, then we do something else. So we say, okay, we modify this, and this was like our first modification to the blockchain. And we implemented these two rules, that mines whoever is authorized by this set of administrators, and there is a mining cap that you cannot mine more than 3 times than the rest. Okay? It's controlled by the blockchain automatically, and that's okay. If it works, then we go to a more advanced system. So the next thing that you have to solve is, okay, how do we make this not so arbitrary that his friends mine and not the rest? So what people should do to mine this? You say, well, in the case of Bitcoin, if you put your computer, you mine. Okay? It's open, permissionless in this way, but it leads to centralization. So after thinking about this, we said, okay, why don't we divide the community in local chapters, meaning a chapter can be in different countries. No? If we can attach or put some rule that is geo-localized, it makes sense to the concept of overall concept of the project that people's first. No? So let's allow people to mine, but we need like a structure. And a structure that cannot be centralized is one that is tied to current social structure, like countries and cities and states. No? So if our community is divided by countries, and we give like 10 licenses per country, initially, let's say, then it cannot be centralized, because nobody's going to found a new country just to get 10 licenses. Does that make sense? So we put this idea into the community, and we said, okay, if in these chapters, the people that get into these chapters, if they do something of value for the project, and we define like 10 tasks. No? For example, running a local Twitter account in your language, running a local Facebook account, running a local website, running a local meetup, or things like that. If you do this, the project gives you one license. And we put this idea on the forums, on the industry. Like in November, the community was divided like in 7 or 8 countries here in Europe. And, well, the industry accepted the idea. And in around 2 months, we were with this chapter scheme like in 70 countries. Probably all the countries that have some cryptocurrency activity, because the rest of the countries, they don't know this exists. And we get to a point that we scale very quickly in 2 or 3 months, and we have a wonderful community that accepts all this stuff. And in general, the broader blockchain industry also like the idea, was like innovative and it worked. People like it. So what we're going to do now is to create an application that removes the administrator, and the application allows you to found your own chapter and to manage the membership and instead the administrator controlling if you are doing your task, then the other people control between each other in a decentralized way. So if I endorse you and he endorses you and a certain amount of people endorse you, then your license gets activated automatically with no administrator. If we think that you are not doing a good job and your endorsements fall below a threshold, then your licenses get deactivated. So still is a similar system, but now it removes the central point of failure and control and let the community self-organize. Okay? So that is how we are going to evolve in that sense. But we understood that this project cannot be only the community or the mining should not go only to people doing some marketing stuff. This project is very challenging in many aspects, especially the technology and the research that is needed. So we say, why don't we, not now, but in the near future, why don't we, instead of giving all the tokens to this miner, to these chapters, that in fact we want to expand not only to countries, but also to states and cities. You can find a chapter in your city or in his city, and they are in the same country. And with this application, you can scale up to that level. So we said, why don't we do similar thing, but with researchers? Because there is a lot of research to be done. What I speak is like just the tip of the iceberg, or something that's quite common. And there's a huge amount of research to be done. So why don't we make a network of researchers, with research labs, with a researcher and their students, similar to the chapter and members, and we allow them to mine by doing research on this. No? So remember that Bitcoin mines $80 million a month. Imagine that 80 million being divided between the community itself and half in researchers. Today, our token is small and in price and market, but if someday it's big, it makes sense. So the plans are that when this starts evolving, one token is going to be mined by the community, and the next token by a network of researchers. And we continue with this idea. The next block is going to be mined by a network of entrepreneurs, creating applications of this and bringing users. And the final block is going to be mined by end users. The taxi driver or whoever wants to mine with their computer there, they are also going to be able to mine. But once we have all these structures in place, then you are protected with centralization, even if you let and you open in the end. Okay? So this is how is our roadmap of mining. Okay? But this is only half of the problem of governance. This all of what I'm talking now is the subject of governance of the system. Remember that the governance of Bitcoin is very, very primitive. Whoever has more hashing power decides the version of the software or decides the project fate. Here, we need a governance system that is much more resilient if we want to grow to a global scale and put everybody on the planet here. Imagine the token value can be even higher than Bitcoin, or 10 times, 1,000 times more. So you need a robust governance system that can support a lot of nasty things that can happen when there is a lot of money involved. No? So what we said is the following. Then we follow some ideas of other projects that were successful. I don't know if you know Dash. Dash is a cryptocurrency. Their focus is on privacy. They started also with Bitcoin blockchain, and they added a layer that anonymized transactions. Okay? So anonymized transaction and put some other financial services that more efficient, more this, more that. Dash was doing well. It has several years of development, but at some point in time, like a year and a half ago, they introduced a governance system. The guy said, look, what if we, instead of giving everything to miners, we give some part of the reward to people doing projects? Because we need a new website, we need more developers, we need PR, we need so instead of getting traditional funding and depending on companies and things like that, we create like a treasury where the blockchain issues token into the treasury, and then we decide how we spend this by voting. So Dash started implementing that like a year and a half ago, and it start like the project, you can see it going up in the market. And it was like a year and a half ago, the market cap was around $15 million.
Yeah, now we have the servers. Yeah.
Okay.
And now we have the server.
Now they are the third, yeah. For some time they were like 50 or 60 million, and in the last month they jumped like 300 million. No? And if you ask Dutch people, they say the reason is our governance system. Because we can act quickly instead of being arguing for 2 years or changing one stuff. We vote, and whatever is voted, we do. And that's it. So we could go and copy whatever they did, but we said, well, maybe there is some room for improvement.